Welcome to the program. I'm your host, Neil Howard, here on Health Professional Radio. Thank you for joining us for another segment. In this segment, going to have a conversation with Julie Charlestein. She's president and CEO of Premier Dental Products. Welcome to the program, Julie Charlestein. How are you?
Hi, Neil. Thanks so much for having me. I'm great.
I'm glad that you could take the time this morning. CEO and president of Premier Dental Products Company. Now, this is not a new company, right?
This is not a new company. Premier develops, manufactures, and distributes innovative products for dentists and dental professionals around the world, and we've been doing this now for 106 years.
Now, are we talking all types of dental products, or are you specialized?
Our focus is what we call inspired solutions for daily dentistry. So those consumables that the dentist and hygienist are reaching for on their tray day in and day out. So really materials and instrumentation. We focus mostly on restorative and preventative dentistry.
Now, although you're worldwide, in the United States, roughly how many practitioners are using your products? There
are about 160,000 dentists and about 90,000 hygienists.
And this is a family business, yeah?
Yeah, we're very, very lucky, very blessed. This is the fourth generation family business. So the business was started in 1913 by my great-grandfather, Julius Charlestein, which is why I am named Julius. Which is why I'm named Julie. So, fourth generation, 106 years. It's really an incredible accomplishment.
Across the board, when it comes to dentistry, in your experience, how have things changed from how we took care of our teeth 20 years ago versus now?
Well, as I'm sure your listeners know, there have been so many advances, and the rapidity with which this technology and innovation is coming forth is faster than we've ever seen. So many changes. What really hasn't changed, there's been a lot of changes in terms of technology and lasers and digital printing and things like that. But really what hasn't changed, and I'm sure your listeners can attest to this, is really the commitment of the dentist and how they care for their patient, and obviously the commitment of Premier and to the dentist and ultimately to meeting the patient's needs.
There are so many things that I'm thinking, wow, you can replace a person's entire dental work, tooth by tooth. It used to be extremely an extreme process. Now it's much more streamlined.
Absolutely. You said, when you need to look at dentist office, and that's something that people don't often do, and they don't realize that dentist offices are really like high-tech centers. And perfect examples is what you're talking about, the ability to treat oral disease, to repair the dentition, the teeth have moved forward tremendously in terms of the different technological advances that are available.
Many years ago, when you would get your teeth with they call scaling, now, you get anesthesia. It takes a couple of days for one side, the upper, the lower. Now, I do believe it's lasers and water.
There are all of those things. There are definitely the traditional scaling, but even that has improved in terms of the types of materials that are used to create those scalers. So it's more ergonomic, it's more lightweight than, like you're talking about, Profi jets, which kind of blasts water to do the cleaning. So in every area, as you're talking about, really in every area of oral care, we've seen developments.
What about oral care in children? That has always been a focus in school, on television, and go to the dentist. You've got all of these great products for kids. Are you seeing improvements in kids' teeth?
We're seeing a tremendous difference. And again, based on what we're talking about, the advances in technology. Most people think about technology in terms of, a supercomputer or the Tesla or something like that. But there's a lot of technology in materials, in smart materials. And those particularly can be focused on pediatric patients. We at Premier just developed a product called BioCoat, which is a sealant to protect patients' teeth, primarily children. And the smart material in there, we developed these things called smart caps, which are these microcapsules. And you can put calcium, phosphate, and fluoride, essentially the building blocks of the tooth. You can put that in there, and it will go out directly into the tooth continuously and constantly, serving to make that tooth stronger. So that's another great example of technology that people don't often think of that's very applicable.
Well, this is October, and it's National Dental Hygiene Month. How is Premier using some of the latest technology to help, our listeners kind of set up their dental hygiene routines?
Well, dental hygiene is so important and exciting. And at Premier, we really start with the patient's needs and look at the technological trends that can support those needs. And that's how we develop products. And, it happens to be a coincidence, but a wonderful coincidence that we just launched a new hygiene product. It's called AeroPro, which is a cordless electric Profi handpiece. And Profi, for your listeners, they all know what it is, but it's when the hygienist comes and does that final polish of your teeth, so you leave the office with that great luster and smooth feel on the teeth. So we just developed that handpiece for the hygienist and for the patient. It's lighter, it's faster, it's easier to use, it's better balanced. So things along those lines, things like that, really help the hygienist to deliver the best patient care and then the best outcome for the patient.
Earlier in the conversation, you mentioned how some of us think of technology as being, this high-tech, bright, shiny thing, when often it's just maybe an improvement in some material, maybe the fiber of a toothbrush. You never know. But let's talk about some of this high-tech, this AI, this 3D modeling that seems to be making huge waves in dentistry. Yeah,
what you're saying is true. The innovation can be iterative, stages in development, or big shiny things like data and AI. And one perfect example, you mentioned toothbrushes in terms of AI and Dental Hygiene Month. There are actually programs where a patient can brush their teeth, and that data can be fed to the doctor, the hygienist, to show where they're brushing their teeth and how effectively they're brushing their teeth. Other examples, we were talking about, 3D printing. A lot of products now are being manufactured through 3D printing. There's CAD/CAM happening in the office. So even with those incremental developments, there are always the big, shiny, cool things as well.
We'd love to get some more information about your company, Premier Dental Company. Where can we go and get some more information about your company, about you, and the developments that are coming down the line?
Oh, that would be great. You can go to our website, premierdentalco.com. You'll find information about our company, about overall dental technology and education, and, of course, about the fantastic, fabulous, and exciting products that Premier is bringing to the dentist and to you, the patient.
Julie, thank you so much for being on the program this morning. Been a pleasure.
Thanks, Neil. I enjoyed it.
Great. You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Transcripts and audio of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.fm. You can also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, listen in, download at SoundCloud, and be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com, Health Professional Radio.